Hey, IDS 302 session B. This is your bonus video on the final paper. Hope everybody's doing fine. I think I only have one AirPod working, so hopefully you can hear this. Um, I also have really proud of a brand new 16-inch MacBook Pro, but the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. My iPad Pro that I'm recording on fell off of my table out here yesterday in the wind, and it cracked in a million cracks. So I'm still working the video on it, but it's the way it goes sometimes. My iPhone's already cracked, so yes, life goes on. I'm cracked. So the final paper. Now I have not looked at your step fours yet. Kind of did it on purpose. A, because they were just due last night, and B, I didn't want to kind of bias how I picture this by starting to go through a couple of them. It's going to take me a while to go through all of them, obviously. So um, here's what I did. I posted some very comprehensive, extensive instructions for the final paper, and I put those in the final paper submission page. I'm not turning this around. I guess I could have shown you, but it's okay. You'll find it, right? Uh, so it's all there. Now, um, I kind of redid it. Should be understandable, and if it's not, I apologize, and you just need to get a hold of me. But the main things, in my opinion, because this is a new course in the way I've developed it, and I haven't been through a full Tanner course yet, so this is it. Uh, Again, to rehash, this course is about integrative interdisciplinary inquiry skills, right? It's not a just an introduction to research. It's interdisciplinary inquiry skills. And what did we say interdisciplinary was? Equals integrative, right? Integrative thinking, an integrative process. Okay, so to accomplish that, and as I mentioned, to fulfill the requirements of research, we needed to bring in the new data, and we did that with the surveys. Now, the final paper, as I envision it, is going to be from top to bottom. It will be as such. Cover page is optional. It's probably something you should do, but I'm not going to ding you if you don't do it. I don't want to see an elaborate one. I want to see no graphics, color. I don't want to see giant font, just a nice little cover page with your name and such. Okay, don't overdo it. Nobody's getting a better score based on a cover page. Can't judge a paper by its cover. So after that, there's going to be a table of contents. You'll probably do that at the end because you don't know how many pages you're going to have, but that's what comes second. And after that, these are all new page, cover page, new page, table of contents, new page. So if your table of contents bleeds into a third page, then you skip into the next one. But it's not to the top of the next open page. You will transfer your steps 1 and 2. Transfer what you wrote for steps 1 and 2. Identify them in a subheading of steps 1 and 2. Um, and you're going to post those separately, of course. I think we did them separately, right? Steps 1 and 2. We had two different things there. Then you're going to go to step 3. Now, I don't want to see big gaps here. You don't have to put step 3 on a whole new page. If steps 1 and 2 end up in a quarter page, half page, whatever, start step 3, skip one line, start step 3. You can put a subheading again there. It could be a bold subheading saying, Tanner step 3 or just step 3. And then you would transfer your annotated bibliography there, okay? And so far we got this flow going. Cover page, table of contents, step 1 and 2, steps 1, steps 2, step 3. Okay. Step 4 is the one I'm going to be scoring this weekend, and that will go next. Okay. If you want to wait, and I'd probably encourage you, but you can get started on all this, but it just needs to come together before when? Yeah, Friday, May 1st, right? So step 4 will then go in there after that. Okay. Then step 5. That's the one you're starting from scratch. The other ones are you're putting together what you've done so far throughout the course. Step 5 now is going to include some sections, subsections of itself, okay? And I have a pretty extensive list of instructions here about this is where you'll need the following, okay? Your survey results, this can be a subheading, okay? This is where you have a general intro on your survey. You talk about, you do not post your questions here. You do not, okay? Um, the next section of step 5 is your actual analysis of your data, okay? That's your survey data. So here's where you would, through words as well as images, show your data. That means, you can take each question, you can put it in a chart or a bar graph, pie chart, analyze it. What were they answering? What were the trends? What did it show? Okay, through all your questions, through your data analysis. All right. After that, you will put in a summary section where you have to articulate what you, the current researcher, what you in the current research discovered or observed through the entire process. Okay, I want to emphasize this is not about, okay, it's not about, well, I learned that blah 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 and I learned that blah, and I always thought that blah blah blah, this is why I want to do that. No, why not? No, I, me, my, right? So this is where you write in a scholarly fashion. You talk about it as if you were a scientist, a researcher, and you put together your data, and this is what you learned from all of it. This is how you connected the previous research to your current research, to your current research results. Okay, the step 4 was kind of connecting it together, but now you can connect it to your results. See if it holds up. See if your results show something different, or kind of did not match what the assumptions might have been, right? Okay, and then after that, at the top of the next page, after you complete the summary, is the works cited page. In this, you will list alphabetically with hanging paragraphs and no line gaps between entries. You will put your works cited. Anything that you cited up on top of the paper that includes the annotated bibliography, and anything else, you will, anywhere else using in-text citation, whatever, you will list that as your work and works that you've cited here, okay? And then after that, if you'd like, you go to an appendix. This would come on the next blank page after your work cited. And the appendix would be a list of your questions and all the potential answers. Now, if you endeavor to try to copy and paste it, it's probably not going to work good. In fact, copy and pasting almost anything except for these major papers you already have on Word, they'll work fine. But anything else you copy and paste is not going to come out well. And there will be some judgment on that, okay? So be careful how your paper looks. Don't just copy your survey off SurveyMonkey and splash it on there. All right, this might take a little tedious work, but this is how it's done, okay? And that's your final paper. And then maybe you can go up to the table of contents and finish it. Now, the table of contents can be a challenge if you've never done one. And again, I want you to experience how research is done, how a paper is developed. Researchers don't just put this together and shove it. Well, maybe they shove it to an intern or someone who's, working with them and say, you get to do all the rest. But most researchers are responsible for the format of their paper when they present it for peer reviewing, for publishing, what have you. This is all part of it. There is, you could just Google how to do a table of contents in Word, okay? You could, I suppose, you got to be careful though, take the table of contents off the samples that I'm providing and use that. However, the sections are completely different and I don't know if it's going to do you any good, okay? I'm just saying that. So let me get to those samples, right? I posted 2 samples. Huge disclaimer here. My iPad's gonna blow over again. Huge disclaimer. These papers are from either BIS 302 or early IDS 302, where the research was different. You'll see it right away that it's a different kind of paper. It's more of a straight research paper. It's not an integrative type of paper, okay? Which, by the way, going back to the summary, is, connecting again, mentioning something about integration of the disciplines that you did. I'm telling you that it's not written down, but you should know that by now. It's integration. All right. And you know how much I like the word integration. Sorry, I'm holding this thing up. Um, Samples aren't perfect, but they're a great indication. And even reading it, you'll see some of the verbiage, excuse me, that my students used, the verbiage that looks good, that reads well in a research paper. Okay. Um, you'll see how they formatted things, and probably most importantly, you'll see that how they went through their survey results, because these have surveys. So there's the images they used. Some of the images might be too small. I don't know. I originally posted them as PDFs, but I think it was a problem, so I put them in the original Word. I just X'd out their names. I think they gave me permission to use them as examples because they were so good. Um, there is there's no minimum here. Okay, do your work. Think about a researcher going into a research in their offices and doing what they do, and they don't think of what's my minimum going to be here. No, they're not concerned about that. They're concerned about doing the research, writing their paper, and submitting it. If anything, they might be concerned with not making sure it's not too long, but nobody does that. They want to cover the information, cover the data, cover the sections that they need to cover. Okay. Um, be careful with big gaps. I don't like that. Make sure you submit yours in Word. It's going to go through a Turnitin. Plagiarism check. Let's see, what else? I changed the due date, so it's May 1st, because everybody knows that May 1st is what? The last day of class. So it's got to be in before 11:59 p.m. or by 11:59 p.m. And don't push it, because if you don't make it, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for, gosh, I started uploading this thing at 11:45. I thought it was going to go through. Well, you thought wrong. I'm sorry. This is the nature of technology, and you can't use it as an excuse, right? I know you won't, so you're fine. Um, Other than that, let me see here. Let me know if you have any questions on anything. I did say I was going to give you 10 points to watch this video. I know I said that. No, I will. But how am I going to do that without Easter eggs? Simple. What you need to do is open the samples. There's two of them, and just tell me what the sample papers are about. What's their topic? That's all I need to know. Cover page. What's their topic? And I know you've opened them, and you got a chance to see the sample. Okay. It's always get windy in the afternoon here, I guess. Um, it's hot here, by the way. Sorry about that, those of you that it's not hot, but it's hot. Okay, so I think that's it. Uh, can't think of anything else. You guys got this, right? Send me your questions, ask me your questions, try to make them specific questions. We can set up a Zoom next week if we need to. All right. But other than that, forks up, finish strong, peace.